So maybe you're new to For Honor and you're just trying to learn some of the fundamentals and get a grasp of this game. Well, one of the most important and fundamental skills that you can learn, I would argue, is parrying. And in this video, I'd like to offer you guys some pointers and try to help you guys out in developing that skill. Now, before we get started, I'd like to get a couple things out of the way. I play primarily on PC, even though I do also own a copy on Xbox. For a multitude of reasons, I find parrying to be an impossibility on Xbox. I know some people can do it and can do it very well, but I think those are crazy people, and I don't understand. But on PC, I can parry every single attack in the game. I don't care what it is, I've done it, and I can do it fairly consistently. So I just want to put that out there. And I don't want to make that sound like that's some great accomplishment or anything. I'm just trying to point out that there are big differences between the PC and console version of For Honor. The second and final thing I want to get out of the way is that there is a big patch coming in a few months' time that is going to address some defensive meta changes. And one of these is going to be severely reducing the reward you get from parrying. This isn't confirmed. There could be changes. It might not be the exact reductions that we think or that we've tested, but they are testing it currently, and there might be changes. Either way, even if they are as severe as we've seen, I do think it is necessary and important for you to learn how to parry and at least get a fundamental understanding of what it is and how to do it. So with that out of the way, what are we going to need to learn how to parry and get really good at it and master it? The things we're going to need are determination and time, as well as some good reaction time. But that is a learnable and improvable skill. And to prove it, I do have a story, but I'm going to save that to the end of this video for those of you that are interested. So now that we're into the meat of it, what is parrying? Well, rather than blocking, you can instead attempt to parry an incoming attack. And if that parry is successful, then you get some free damage that you get to whack your opponent with. And who doesn't like free damage? I like free damage. Now there is a strict timing that comes along with parrying. And in order to parry, you have to press the heavy attack button during an incoming attack. Your guard must also be in the same direction as the incoming enemy attack. And in this attack, if you look at the indicator, you'll see it kind of flash. And while it's flashed and changed color, that is when you have to parry. To be honest, I hardly even pay attention to that flash, though. It's kind of all down to the feeling. I know that sounds weird, but that's how it is. And if you try to parry too early or too late, then that attack's probably going to hit you right in the face. Risky. Now, what do you get from a parry? Well, it depends on a couple things. The heroes, so your hero and your opponent's hero, and the attack that you parry. And this video would be way too long if I were to go over all the different combos and what you get from different moves and heroes and all that. So instead, I'll just go over some of the generalities, the general things that you get from a parry. Let's say you parry a light attack. Look at you. So you parry a light attack, and you will almost always get your most damaging attack. So for Berserker or Lawbringer, that's a top heavy. You parry a light attack, go straight into top heavy. Enemy can't do anything about it. He's going to get hit in the face by your most damaging attack. Usually, there are a couple characters this doesn't apply to. But every single character will get a guard break from a light parry. So if you're ever unsure of what you get from a light parry, but you know you parried a light attack, just guard break, and then that leads into its own heavy, usually. That's a whole other thing, getting into guard breaks and what that gives you. But it'll give you a guard break, which will then give you free damage if you're ever unsure. And what if you parry a heavy attack? Well, that's where things get a little bit more dicey. So generally, you will get a free guard break when you parry a heavy attack. However, there are some heroes that are considered long range. These long-range heroes, some examples are Lawbringer, Nobushi. If you parry their heavy and try to guard break immediately after, you will whiff the guard break, miss. They're too far away, which will then give them a free guard break on you. So be conscious of that. If that happens, then it's just because the hero that you just parried is out of range of you. And there are some heroes that have their own built-in parry follow-ups. So, for example, Lawbringer has if you parry any attack, even if it's technically out of range for any other follow-up, you can just press a light attack, and he'll kind of move in and bop him on the head for light attack damage. Nothing great, but it's guaranteed, and if you can't get any other attack, then it's pretty nice. And then Warden has the crushing counter, which basically, instead of a parry, if someone attacks him in the top direction, he can parry it with a light attack instead of a heavy attack, and it would basically do the same exact damage as a top heavy attack, which is his most powerful attack. So it's pretty nice, and it's also a really cool animation. So what are some of the best ways that you can practice and keep improving your parry? One of my favorite things is to just set up a bot match. Make it level 1, 2, or 3. It doesn't really matter, except once you get comfortable parrying, I mean, it's always a little bit more helpful to ramp up the difficulty, but if you're not comfortable parrying, feel free to totally put it on a level 1 bot, just to kind of get that timing down and have it make sense to you. Eventually, you will commit the parrying to muscle memory, basically. You're not going to be looking for that flash. It's all muscle memory. What you will be looking for, and what I look for instead of that flash, even today I look for this, is the animation itself, not the indicator, not the flash. The animation for the attack. Something that you can do that really, really helps with this is play through the campaign on the hardest difficulty. This removes the HUD and all the attack indicators. So it kind of forces you to look at the animation and force yourself to try to parry everything. You will get better at it if you beat the campaign at this difficulty, I promise you. It's a really nice way to improve your parrying and identifying what attacks are what. And something to keep in mind if you're always messing up on it is be sure to put your input, your follow-up for a parry, immediately after your parry. So if you're going to guard break immediately after your parry. If you're going to attack immediately after your parry. If you wait too long, then your attack will no longer become guaranteed. Now, before I finish up, early in the video, I said that I had a story that related to the determination and the time and the reaction time that I would tell later in the video, so here that is. Some of you guys might know, if you guys watch any of the For Honor streamers, iSkies. I was a Warden main for the first probably 2 or 3 months, just like iSkies was and is today. I watched him pretty religiously and learned a ton from him. And one day, I think in the first week or two after the game came out, I matched up against him, and I was very curious how I would do against him. Warden against Warden. We approached each other. I decided, why not top light the Warden? I mean, it's pretty, not very risky. It's still early in the game. Not everyone can parry yet. To my surprise, he instantly crushing countered, parried my light attack, my top light attack. Wow, that's pretty crazy. Maybe he got lucky. Then I tried it again, crushing counter again. He did it twice. I was so surprised by this. He did it over and over again the whole match. I never won. He just destroyed me. I was so surprised and impressed by this that I basically from then on forced myself. I was like, okay, it is possible to do that. Those attacks I used to think were so fast. This guy can clearly do it. I'm going to force myself to be able to do that. So I spent several days just forcing myself to learn how to crushing counter other Warden top lights or other Orochi top lights, since they're basically the same thing. After a couple days, I nailed it. I pretty much mastered it. Any other Warden, and you'll see this a lot of lower Wardens that are not top tier, so like less than top tier, I guess, will kind of test each other by top lighting each other. Any Warden that does that to me, I'm crushing countering them every single time. After months and months of doing this, and it only took a couple days, remember, for me to master this, I applied this to every other attack. Side lights, Berserker lights, Orochi lights, Peacekeeper lights, every fast attack I could eventually parry. I learned it, I got it into muscle memory. Even some of the fastest attacks in the game, Peacekeeper's Zone, I could parry it. Orochi Flicker Zone, I can parry it. Warden Zone, I can parry it. Not really any reason to, but sometimes I do just because I panic and I'll parry it. But lesson being, I forced myself to learn. I forced myself to attempt to parry every single attack that I possibly could, even if it meant me getting hit in the face so many times. I lost so many games in those first few weeks after the game came out. And I guess I just encourage you guys to not really worry about your win rate, but just try to learn. You will get very good at parrying if you commit yourself to forcing yourself how to learn to parry everything. And with that, I thank you guys for watching. Thank you so much. Hopefully I'll be seeing you guys around. Peace.